boxing game. And what this speaks to, and this is a boxing show, boxing is fundamentally exploitative. I get this as a fan. It's a guilty pleasure, I get it, right? And usually it's fans and networks exploiting fighters, right? We say, we want to see you in blood and guts fights, which risks their health for the rest of their life, to entertain us. But here's what's crazy to me about a fight like that. And I remember, when I'm a little kid, Sugar Ray Leonard wins the gold medal. And then you blink, he's fighting Benitez for the title. Then he's fighting Duran twice. Then he's fighting Hearns. It didn't take 100 years to make the fight. But what's wild about something like this is a real super fight, and I said this on the broadcast for Crawford and Canelo, can't be promoted into existence. Right. What a real super fight is, the dust settles in an era, and there are two dudes left standing. There's Ali, there's Frazier, there's Leonard, there's Hagler, there's Mayweather, there's Pacquiao. That's a super fight, right? There's Crawford, there's Canelo. Those are two big fighters of the era. This type of fight, this could easily be at the end of an era, because Teo might be a dude left standing and Shakur could be the dude left standing, right?
You're training to do something to not just beat Shakur, but to beat him in grand fashion. And when I say grand fashion, I mean going for the knockout.
Well, I think that the whole thing is the Bible of boxing really is that if you look for the knockout, you won't get it. I think really it's just all about setting the good pace early in the beginning rounds and then going from.
We have going for us when a person underestimates you. That's lovely. And that ain't the only thing he's underestimating. So we're good.
According to Max Kellerman, this battle is a real test of skill and perilous for Shakur.
Amazing fight. We've seen the way Teo goes against some of these boxers. We've seen Shakur in some bad fights, obviously. Although Shakur looks pretty damn good against Williams Zepeda. Teo's not a pressure guy. He likes to counterpunch. Two counterpunchers, really.
Yes, it is not like, but there are some fights, guys. I think about Pernell Whitaker and Buddy McGirt, or Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred Benitez. I love the high-speed chess match. Not every fight has to be rock'em sock'em robots, right? That is, I agree with you. Aesthetically, there could be problems because someone has to take the lead, and they're both counterpunchers. But Chris, Teo has some angles with his feet that might bother a guy like Shakur.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, he has great angles with the feet. He moves greater in the ring, and combination fighter. To me, combinations is the best.
When Shakur Stevenson and Teo finally cross paths, Teo remains resolute and predicts that the bout would be a harsh wake-up call.
My mandatory, and he didn't. He was too hesitant, trying to commit to punches. So I think that it's just something that's going to be a rude awakening for Shakur.
Hey, Doug, you hear that? He said the Bible of boxing. What else is called the Bible of boxing? Ring Magazine, and he's a two-division Ring Magazine champ.
Great ambassador for those championship belts as well.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm very big on those things. I claimed 2 weight divisions, 2 Ring Magazine belts.
Jack, Shakur's instructor, claims that while they maintain their regular training techniques, they changed the plan this time to better prepare him.
Trying to do new little things, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's basically the same thing we've been doing. We changed the strategy, but no camp is never exactly the same. So yeah, it's just like always. Like, we may try a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it's mainly the same things. One of the best things we have going for us when a person underestimates you. That's lovely. And that ain't the only thing he's underestimating. So we're good.
While Shakur's strength is outstanding, Teo's strength and footwork in the ring are as impressive, demonstrating his skill and dedication, according to Max Kellerman.
The thing I like about Teo's style, when you have a guy like Shakur whose defense is that good, and he's not just a guy who's going to hug you, he can box, the easiest thing in the world is just to pick him against everybody.
Right. Yes.
But Teo also has the kind of footwork, Malik, where he steps around guys. And I think about Buddy McGirt, Meldrick Taylor.
Yes.
Roy, where Meldrick had quick enough feet where if you were going to come right at Buddy McGirt, he could box you. But Meldrick could give him angles that were more difficult. I think of Roy Jones, James Toney. If you were going to go at James Toney, forget it. His defense is too good. But Roy had the feet to move around James Toney, and maybe Teo has the feet to move around Shakur.
I seriously doubt it, man. Shakur is a whole different type of animal. His ring IQ is up there with the best. He's getting literally, I don't know how many times we've seen two.
Shakur claims that people don't give him the credit he merits and criticize him. He frequently minimizes his accomplishments and denigrates his rivals.
Kept it moving. I do feel like I am in the situation that when I do make fighters look bad and beat them up, the first thing that they going to run to is, oh, this guy wasn't that good, or this guy is not nobody. They're going to take away from my resume, same way they did with Bud. Just like my last fight, they turned the dude that I was fighting and they say he's a cab driver. But I want to say his fight before he fought me, he fought Nakatani. And, no disrespect to Teo. Teo had, a majority decision with Nakatani. Lomachenko, it took him 9 to 10 rounds to get him out of there. That dude got him out of there in 6. So he couldn't be as bad as how they made it seem. But I think I'm just in a lose situation when it comes down to it, because anybody that I fight.
He's determined to disprove the critics and prove himself this time.
They're going to act like I didn't fight anybody. Even with Edwin. Edwin is a great fighter. But after I beat him, they're going to sit there and say that he wasn't as good as...
I would put my money on Shakur, but shit, I won't be surprised if Teofimo surprises us all, for sure. I think I'm underestimating Teofimo a little bit, but I don't think he can make the necessary adjustments to his own style to combat what Shakur does best. But he could definitely prove me wrong, for sure.
Ryan Garcia has shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated bout between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, favoring Shakur while cautioning against underestimating Teofimo. He points out that Stevenson's speed, skill, and defense make him dangerous, but Lopez's strength, versatility, and toughness keep the fight unpredictable. Garcia believes the matchup is a compelling clash of styles, where timing and small tactical moments could ultimately decide the outcome.
You got to hit him first. And Shakur, some of the way he's positioned, the way his back foot's there, and then you see him comfortable, and he's all right, this is my shot. And you throw it, he just rocks back, or he has that back foot, just steps back, and he has a long reach, so he just counters punches you. And that's it's part of the game. You get hit and not get hit. And Shakur Stevenson does it to the T. He perfected that since he was an amateur and Olympian, silver medalist, and now he's done it as a professional. Maybe not the whole world enjoys it, but the pure boxing fan will maybe appreciate that.
I know you tried to do it, and Shakur's undefeated at this point, but like, how do you beat a Shakur Stevenson?
I think how you beat a Shakur Stevenson, if I can go back, you do something.
Oscar Valdez recently offered his thoughts on the forthcoming bout between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, outlining why he thinks Teofimo has a genuine chance of winning. Valdez concentrates on Lopez's footwork, placement, and innate ability to counterpunch. He observes that Teofimo uses his rear foot to keep his balance, retreat when necessary, and use his long reach to land accurate counters. His ability to absorb punches without taking too much harm, which he has developed since his amateur and Olympic days, is made possible by this combination. Although this approach may not always be appreciated by pure boxing fans, Teofimo's style is an essential component of his game, according to Valdez. He makes the argument that it takes patience, timing, and strategic pressure to defeat a fighter like Shakur Stevenson.
Make that damage where he has no option. We all got tremendous fighters who box very well. You got Sugar Ray Leonard to Roberto Duran came, and he ended up catching him. You got Sweet Pete Pernell Whitaker. He was an amazing defensive fighter. So Zurdo Ramirez came in and beat him, and other fighters. So everyone I think time will tell what type of fighter, but I would say a pressured fighter. Maybe someone like Pitbull. We know Pitbull has had some losses with guys who are even less defensive fighters than Shakur Stevenson. So Rayo Valenzuela and then Gervonta Davis, and then his country.
Drawing on boxing history, Valdez believes Teofimo Lopez must wait for the right moment to land powerful shots against the technically superior Shakur Stevenson. He compares the matchup to past fights where underdogs won through timing and precision, noting that Lopez's composure, distance control, and counterpunching make him a real threat. Valdez sees the bout as a tactical battle in which smart pressure and disciplined defense could put Stevenson's unbeaten record at risk.
Fight against Teofimo, Madison Square Garden next week. How do you see that playing out?
I see him beating the shit out of Teofimo. I see Teo just, I don't want to really say too much, but I see Teo come to do what he do, and I see Shakur come to do what he do, and I just see Shakur doing whatever he want, and any type of way he want it, that's how it's gonna be. And next week is a big week, and I can't wait for bro to show everybody, for real.
Should beat the shit out of him. Do you think he's going to stop Teofimo Lopez? Do you think if he wants to, he can?
I mean, he act crazy, I think he can. That's all I'm going to say. He act crazy, I think he can.
Last one. Obviously, with that fight in the horizon, you want to be involved in big fights like that going down, that New York, New Jersey rivalry. Is that something that inspires you when you see Shakur doing this at the highest level?
I mean, in that fight, sort of in the middle, you got to favor Shakur. But if he's on the back foot, if he's on the ropes, I mean, that's going to give Teofimo a lot of opportunities. And what makes Teofimo, I believe, dangerous in this fight, he throws both hands in succession. He's a combination type puncher, and that always serves well if you got a real slick defensive fighter in there. If Shakur can show us a little bit of that, what he had in his last fight, a lot of that work in the center of the ring, it's going to be an exciting fight. I think you got to favor the guy who's in the best condition, not only physically, but mentally. I think, these guys are going to have to lock in, and they can't let, that intricate, you got to have your personal life in order. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to a fight this big. You know what I mean? That's going to be the key.
Zach Moses shared his views on the upcoming bout between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, expressing confidence that Stevenson will likely prevail. He points to Shakur's technical skill, speed, and ring IQ as key advantages, noting his ability to control distance, read opponents, and capitalize on mistakes. While acknowledging Lopez's strength and toughness, Moses believes Stevenson's experience, composure, and strategic approach will neutralize those traits, citing past fights as proof that his style is difficult to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, smart money would be on the boxer, Shakur Stevenson, winning the decision. But, if Lopez can make this fight, a lot tougher than expected, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. He's a fast fighter. We don't know, or fast as here, you have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, a big question is always what Teo is going to show up. And when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's upset people, like against Lomachenko, against Josh Taylor, fights.
Professor of the sweet science, you may say. And it's not like Teofimo has a William Zepeda-esque style. He's not just going to be front foot, volume punching, eat punches to give punches. That's not how he's going to fight. He is going to try to go boxing IQ for boxing IQ with Shakur, but I assume do it more on an offensive front foot pace than trying to go Shakur to walk to him. I mean, it might be the best option for Teofimo if he could get Shakur to be front foot and offensive, because of maybe the deficiencies Shakur has on the front foot. We haven't really seen him be a dominant front foot control center fighter, but this is why I'm hoping, again, knock on wood, we don't get a defensive standoff where we're both feinting and no one wants to take the lead foot and both guys want to play counterpuncher. I think that Teo can do both better than Shakur can do both. I think Shakur is probably the better defensive to offensive fighter. I think Teo could probably
Clemens notes that Lopez faces a tough challenge, as Stevenson's defensive skill and sharp transitions make him hard to break down. Lopez will need patience and precise timing to create countering opportunities, since Stevenson can quickly regain control after mistakes. Overall, it's a high-level tactical matchup, pitting Lopez's offensive versatility against Stevenson's defensive mastery and ring intelligence. That concludes the video for today. Thus, keep an eye out. Until the next time.